I'm back! That's right, folks. It's your boy, Mr. Narrator, back at it again to fill your mind with media. The Narration Foundation was kind enough to not throw me in a sale these past few months, but instead spend time with family. And by spend, I mean gamble, and by time with family, I mean at the casino. Today's topic is Fallout 4, developed by Bethesda Game Studios, a company so loved by the public and has never suffered any controversy whatsoever. The game is wildly upgraded in most aspects to its predecessor, including better graphics, gunplay, and something everyone definitely wanted in their self-insert RPG, a voiced protagonist.
Sean, open the door!
This all thanks to leading man Todd 16 times the detail Howard. In fact, it's such a good game, it has 6 separate editions, which hardcore fans will buy all of because fuck you, give us your money. With all this in mind, let me take you on a philanthropic journey of Fallout 4, the true way any gamer plays the game. So, let us boot it up, and let's begin. Fallout 4 starts out with you, a US military veteran, changing your face in the bathroom mirror how anyone realistically does after getting out of bed. You, of course, could play as the wife, but who's really going to pick the lawyer? Sorry, Nora, but your screen time and importance to the story is as relevant as my sex life. Little and non-existent. Ah, look at that sexy face. You mull around your house for a little while, taking in the inaccurate life of a citizen of Massachusetts. I don't care that this section takes place in 2077 with the lifestyle of the 1950s. It's way too clean to be realistic. Eventually, a man in dashing attire approaches your door. He is with Vault Tech, and as much as you tell him to screw off,
Go away.
your wife tells you to answer the questions. This is the part where you name your character and fill out the special category. He leaves, and you go and comfort your baby, Sean, and talk to your wife about the public indecency case you're currently on trial for.
Will it be like that night in the park a year ago?
Your Mr. Handy, Codsworth, alerts you to the TV, where the news highlights that Boston is getting bombed. Okay, I might want to rephrase that. Boston is getting nuked, so you and your family abandon your loyal robot and go to the conveniently nearby vault where your family is registered. Oh, yeah, that was a whole thing with the Vault-Tech guy, but plot is plot. So you watch the nukes go off and go down into the safety of the vault. Once inside, you're directed to go to a decontamination pod, so you ignore your wife and child, change into a vault suit in front of everybody, and get inside. Unfortunately, the pod you're in is not interested in letting you leave. Who would have thought the billion-dollar evil corporation would do an evil thing? But regardless, you're frozen. Knock knock, it's me, time skipping. You wake up in your pod to witness a bald man kill your wife and kidnap your son, which according to my notes is not a good thing. Shockingly, you're only awake for this one crucial moment before you peacefully drift off to cryostasis Betty by time. Knock knock, you won't believe who's here again. After time passes, you wake up once more, jump out of the pod, rush past your wife, and try to get out of there. Your son is missing, and that's the only priority that matters. You pick up a baton and a pistol, and take care of a giant cockroach infestation. I'll take a moment to discuss combat. Frankly, it's very smooth. Weapons, despite looking like crap, operate well and make for very satisfying kills. I do hope it stays completely balanced, and there's no way the player can get weapons and practically one-shot enemies 30 minutes into a playthrough. Anywho, you get to the entrance and pry a Pip-Boy off of a skeleton and brandish it as your own. Before we leave, let me quickly change. Ah, yes, now that is much better. So, we leave the vault, and now the adventure to find our son truly begins. We make our way back to Sanctuary Hills, and I know what you're about to say. Where's all the destroyed buildings, and why is the grass green? Simple answer, mods. That's right, folks, I'm cheating. Because much like my moral code, the base game is completely broken, and needs quality of life fixes that Todd It Just Works Hard refused to give us in the first place. Mods, or creations, used to be free, but now some of them come with a nifty little price tag. There's a whole thing about how most mods broke every time a new edition of the game was released, but we won't go into that. A lot of what you will see is modded, but don't let that take away from the mission. Now, Codsworth is shockingly still here, but he's not much help aside from telling us to head to Concord nearby. Seems that's our first stop, so we head over to investigate this other house and... Oh, is that a workbench? Ooh, how interesting. Does it... Oh! Well, it appears we can build stuff, and maybe, over time, we can truly call Sanctuary a home again. Well, first things first, we need a house to call our own. Typically, you have to scrounge around for anything that you can get your hands on for scrap so you can use it as building materials later. However, with this handy little seed packet, mods, I suddenly have 100,000 of every material. So, for the house, you place down a foundation, a wall here, yes, good. Blah blah blah, and soon enough you have yourself a quaint 2-story house. Overall, building isn't half bad. The vanilla game sucks when it comes to base building, but mods save it tenfold. Anyways, it's quite lonely here, so the next logical step is to set up a radio beacon to call upon the masses. After some time, eventually, somebody will arrive, and you finally have your first settler. Town management isn't too complicated. In order to raise happiness, you need a few essentials. Food is delicious. The easiest way to get food is to plant crops. So you plant a field and eventually somebody will start tending to it, allowing more crops to grow, and the cycle continues on. Not much to say about it. Defense is good. In a barren wasteland such as this, you're prone to attacks from a multitude of creatures looking for a scrumptious meal. Every town needs its police force, or in the event of the post-apocalypse, a band of heavily armed militiamen. So you put up a couple of gates, power on some turrets, and arm settlers to the teeth. There we go. That's more like it. This place is really coming together, almost making me forget about, Shane? I think that was his name. Whoever that is. Anywho, beds are comfy. Everyone needs a place to sleep, so you have to construct beds for settlers to take a snooze on. Building more houses will make this place look a lot better too. So let's place a few walls, just like that. Do a little decorating, and boom, a nice little abode for a few people. You can, of course, just place beds all willy-nilly, but we want this place looking like paradise. Water is a human right. People need to drink, and there's no liquor about, so water is the next best thing. You could, of course, drink the locally sourced stuff straight from the gloriously toxic-filled river, but the best course of action is to build some purifiers and power them on. In no time, you'll be able to get a bunch of bottles of purified water. But now you have too much. What do? Build commerce. Every wasteland needs a Tesco, after all, and you can barter away the water in exchange for caps, this game's currency. Do this 100 times, and now you have a stable economy. A stable economy means more shops, and more shops means more foot traffic, and more foot traffic means more settlers, and more settlers means more buildings, and more buildings means more homes. Look at this. Magnificent. A thriving city of commerce and life in an otherwise dead world. This here, this is the true Fallout 4 experience. Just as the devs intended, the city-building simulator everyone wanted. Well, that's about it. There's not much else to talk about. Short video, sure, but it isn't like there's any other pressing matters. So remember, always have a... What? Oh, there's a story? Oh, what story is there? Oh, right, my kid. Sam. Or something. Well, crap. I guess we'll have to do the old-fashioned speed run. So let's get back to it. We need to get armed and armored. The customization system has also been improved from previous games in the series, with more options per item, though it does at times seem limiting. While you can go on your adventure alone, you can bring along a number of companions to make your adventure less lonely. But we don't have time for that, so I go for the easier method of hiring a team of mercenaries, because fuck you, I'm rich. So with me and my team behind me, we set off from the safety of my town and head off into the wastes. The first stop we make is past this gas station with the dog, but we don't have time to play fetch, so we abandon him and continue into the town of Concord. After dealing with a band of raiders, a very annoying man asks us to grab the laser musket on the ground and come and help them deal with the raiders inside. After following the first half of those orders, we make our way down the road and towards downtown Boston to Fenway Park. While walking, we can take in the sights of Massachusetts. Despite being graphically upgraded, unless you know where to look, it's honestly as empty as Fallout 3's DC. Anyways, one hop and a skip later, and here we are at Fenway, better known as Diamond City. Uh-oh, sorry, you're not a Sigma. You didn't follow the speedrunner's guidelines. We actually have to go to this random-ass subway station in Upper East Boston, fight through a bunch of mobsters, and eventually reach the entrance to a vault. You use your Pip-Boy to get inside and rescue this robot detective. Something Clanker something. Nick Valentine is actually a very in-depth character with a lot of interesting backstory. Unfortunately for Nick, though, the time is not on our side for such nonsense. So we escape the vault, slip past whatever lore relevance this encounter carries, and get outside. You tell Nick it was just pure luck you found him here, and finally get to Diamond City. However, on my way there, I found this red line, so I decided to follow it until it reached the Old North Church. Going inside, we find the catacombs and this odd puzzle. Let's see. Well, we're underground, and lamps led the way. Could it be a reference to the Underground Railroad? So I punch in the code and walk on inside where— Jesus! Well, that scared the hell out of me. Surely these jump-scaring creeps are very unimportant. There was nothing there, so we leave to continue finding Saul. On approach, we see Piper, another possible companion, one which we could hypothetically romance given the time and effort to raise their affinity. Shockingly, yes, we can have sex with other people despite the fact our wife just died a solid week ago. Ah, Diamond City, the great green xenophobic jewel of the Commonwealth, the residents of which are super personable.
Don't beg, you stuck-up old bat.
Fine. Go ahead and pretend you're someone important. I'm getting bored. Why don't you make yourself scarce?
Bitch.
What did you say?
Before we see Nick, we were told to stop by Piper's, the perfect excuse to talk about the game's dialogue. Now, it's not perfect. The majority of your choices revolve around saying yes, no, a question, or being a sarcastic douche. Or even worse, options where you have to select a certain outcome no matter what you pick. This is the reason not many people were happy with the new dialogue system. In fact, one of the most popular mods out there replaces it with the old one from Fallout 3 in New Vegas, letting you see exactly what you'll say. Anyways, this was a waste.
Reporters.
Let's go off the Knicks. We sit down with Nick and tell them about our son.
For my son, Sean.
Oh, Sean! That was his name. Forgettable name, Sean. So, we discuss options and describe the killer Mr. Baldman. Apparently, he owned a house here in the city, so Nick and I prance off to investigate. We discover he loves cigars and stouts. Perhaps I've judged him a bit too harshly, but Nick says with these items, he can call upon a friend to help. So, outside we meet— Oh, It's that dog from the gas station. Well, despite the fact I actively avoided him, they thrusted the dog into the story anyways, so we abandoned Nick and followed the doggo. Okay, so I'm going to do us all a favor here and skip this next part. It's summed up as that one tweet that reads, if you design a quest where I need to follow an NPC and they move slower than my running speed but faster than my walking speed, you're banned from making video games for 1 year. Anyways, it's a total nightmare for speedrunning. I'll take a moment to discuss reviews. They're mixed. While some love the gameplay, the rest hate the lackluster story. However, out of the millions of reviews, the only one that matters is the one from James. I've never played Fallout 4. I can't really give any in-depth thoughts about the game beyond saying that its post-apocalyptic setting doesn't appeal to me. Thank you, James. Your opinion is as insightful and relevant as ever. We eventually make it to Fort Hagen, where the doggo claims Mr. Baldman is located. We abandon the dog forever and go inside, taking out a bunch of robotic synths while a cereal brand tries to mock us. Personally, I'm getting sick of this guy's shit, and his cereal isn't the best anyways, so we end him before he could try and convince us that Raisin Bran is edible food. We take a part of his brain for plot reasons and exit the building, where the Brotherhood of Steel's big fuck you ship enters the airspace. Luckily for this speedrun, we don't have to interact with those rust buckets. Taking the brain piece back to Nick and Piper, it's revealed we can use it to see how the Institute gets to its home base. Who's the Institute? Oh, wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? All you need to know is that they're responsible for kidnapping Sean. Yes, I remembered his name. So, off to Good Neighbor to see a specialist. Some asshole at the front tries to intimidate us, so we give him the Ready or Not civilian special. Meet Dr. Amari, the one who's going to use the brain to get into Kellogg's frosted flaky memory. We sit down in the lounger and get an in-depth look at his tragic past. But we really don't care about that, so we skip it all. At the end, we learn he had Sean and an Institute Corsa teleported him away, not before learning that a rogue scientist named Virgil escaped and he might be our best way of getting a chance to get inside the Institute. So we say goodbye to Nick forever and we track down Virgil to... oh, good God. The glowing sea is the spot the bombs fell 200 years ago, filled with the wasteland's most deadliest creatures. But we have no time to delay, so we rush to the opposite side of the sea and get to a cave where Virgil is located. Inside, we meet Virgil, the only super mutant we'll see this whole run, and he tells us it's wise to track down an Institute Corsa to get his little chip, so we can teleport. Now, we're informed that a Corsa is the most lethal unit in the wasteland, something that'll be the last thing you ever see on this waking Earth. So, when we're face to face with one in green tech genetics, we hit him with a Mr. Narrator classic.
I'm here to pick up an order. 2 large pepperoni and a calzone. Name is Fuck You.
One pushover later, and we have the chip. We head back to Amari, but she can't decode it, telling us to go seek out the railroad in order to get the information we need. Railroad. Where do I remember that name from? Oh, yes, that's right. Coming back to the church, the bodies are still there, and we get inside the compound to analyze the chip. Now we have the teleporter schematics and need to build them with the help of a faction. Well, I'm not too trusting of those Brotherhood rust buckets. Who the hell are the Minutemen? We track down the waypoint and it leads us to... oh god, these people? I thought by now they would have died. So I rush inside, take care of the raiders, and meet face to face with the most irritating, punchable human alive. Preston Garvey, God, I hate that name, tells us to go rob a suit of power armor from the roof and fight the remaining raiders. I, for one, am not a pussy, so I don't need no power armor to. So we get into the power armor and go fight the raiders, and a Deathclaw. Another pushover fight later, we talk with Preston, saying to meet him in Sanctuary so they can found a new settlement. Newsflash, buddy, that's my town. They slowly make their way there ever so painfully, and Preston asks us to... oh no. Yes, people need our help, and Preston Garvey is more than happy to let us handle it. Typically, these Radiant missions are never ending, with a settlement somewhere in the Commonwealth needing our help with clearing out some raiders or kidnappings or a whole bunch of other crap. We, however, have a simpler solution. We return to Preston, telling him we failed, and he still gives us the rank of General despite the fact we just murdered a family of 3. Now he offers us help on that teleporter in the form of the engineer Sturgis. We gather the materials and build a little teleporting bay outside of town, and we are finally about to rescue our son. Arriving in the Institute, their leader, Father, odd name, allows us to finally be able to talk to our son. There he is, after so long. Back-breaking labor building a town and everything else, I guess. God, I'm angry. Damn them. So many years stolen. All the rush of adrenaline, my true mission, all flooding back. Those bastards. They took him from me. My only son. I'll kill them for this. All of them. Sean seems to be in a state of delusion, so I think it's time we go postal and kill the first motherfucker we see. That'll teach you to kidnap my son, old man. Well, it seems I can't get my kid out of the chamber, so I suppose we'll come back for him with the rescue party. It's time. The finale approaches. We just need to build an army. Preston, however, needs more settlements on our side, so we go kill more innocent people and replace them with Minutemen loyalists, which is a strategy that actually works. He then asks us to take the castle, a strategic base of operations. We do so, this being the moment I remembered I downloaded a very stupid mod for the Mirelurks. After clearing it, an old-timer, Ronnie Shaw, offers us a chance to build artillery. Honestly, a very useless thing in the long run, but afterwards we're alerted that the castle is under threat of an Institute kill squad. A brawl is surely brewing, but the Institute neglected the fact that I'm a millionaire, so I hired even more gunmen and constructed dozens of turrets and defenses. The battle? Well, despite the fact I may or may not have died 5 times, a cakewalk. And now it's finally time to take the fight to them. Sturgis tells us there's a security gate in the sewers that connects right into the Institute, so that is our destination. Okay, sidebar, I couldn't actually get to the sewers. My game crashed a collective 15 times while attempting to get to downtown Cambridge. Turns out one of my mods was screwing up the loading thingy. Thank you, Bethesda, very cool. Anyways, I eventually got it to work, and got inside the sewer system, mowing down a bunch of synths and turrets. Soon we reached the teleporter, and despite the fact we're up against the might of the Institute, all the Minutemen sent was Preston, Sturgis, and 2 gunmen. Thank God for mercenaries. Preston informed me that we should call an evacuation so the innocent scientists can escape. We invade through bioscience, killing some personnel and guerrillas, before hitting the main atrium. I reach the director's office where... Yep. I look at the terminal, deliberately not issue an evacuation, and get our way secured to the reactor. Blasting our way through, we place a nuke inside, then teleport away. Okay, so... plot twist time. My son was actually the old man I shot point blank a couple hours ago, and this little one is a robot, so he has the pleasure of dying like the rest of these scumbags. We teleport to a roof and nuke the whole place to hell, and that is the end of Fallout 4. Well, there is one more thing to do.
You did issue the evacuation order, right? I didn't notice in all the chaos.
No. Everyone in the Institute is dead.
My God. So we just... killed everyone? This is gonna be a black mark on the Minutemen forever. As glad as I am that the Institute is gone, this wasn't the plan.
Yes, it was. Anyways, this is more like it. Back at home, away from Preston, safe and sound. Well, that's about it. Considering both Sean and the robot clone of him are dead, this whole adventure was one big waste of my time. But I did come out with one cool town. In essence, Fallout 4 is a great game, despite the bugs, controversy, development company, and Preston Garvey. So remember, war never changes, I'm the narrator, and please don't sue me.